Hey, is my microphone turned up? Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. All you bosun's mates out there. Good morning, shipmates. This is the captain speaking. We're cruising currently at 15 knots. We're doing big, giant circles in the Gulf of Mexico, and you wish you could be home, but instead, you're sweeping down this ship. All right. One more for the Navy guys, and I'll move on. Sweepers, man your brooms. Now sweepers. All right, enough nautical nonsense. If nautical nonsense be something you wish, what do you do, Jared? What do you do?
I don't know who you are.
You drop on the deck and flap like a fish. Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio, in case you didn't know what you were doing, in case you didn't know what you'd tuned into. You're like, what am I listening to? I thought it was Student of the Gun Radio. It is, freak. It is, hippie. Sit down. Close your mouth. Open your ears.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes and ears. If you're driving, keep your eyes open, please, and thank you. Or you're an American, you know what? Do what you want. I don't care. Now, if you're on a treadmill, I would recommend keeping your eyes open because you lose your balance and you fall and you hit your head. And you might invent the flux capacitor if you fall and hit your head. But most people out there will just have a nasty concussion. And that's it. Most people don't invent time travel when they fall off of their treadmill. I watched the making of the documentary about the making of the Back to the Future movies on Netflix, #1 Netflix, this weekend. It was kind of good. It was a little bit sad because they, it was sad, but it was nice at the same time because they interviewed Michael J. Fox, and obviously Parkinson's is taking its toll on him, but he was able to communicate, and there's a lot of people, the Michael J. Fox Foundation to fight Parkinson's and what have you, were featured and interviewed and what have you. But it was interesting. It was a little bit of time travel for me, a person who grew up in the era. I remember when Back to the Future was a brand new movie, and it was in the theaters the theaters. You know, Jared, we used to actually have to walk into, if we wanted to see movies, we had to get in cars and drive to buildings, and then we would pay people and we'd walk into the giant building and sit down.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I was probably 16 or 17, I guess 17, that my dad bought our first VCR. It was one of those top load models where the thing comes out of the top and you put the thing in you. And check this out. The first VCR that we had, it was a major purchase. I mean, this was like you took a loan out or whatever. It was probably like $490.
Holy cow!
It was like $400 in 1983 or 4 or whenever it was. Probably 1984, I guess. And the remote, it was not a wireless remote. It was a tethered remote that was like 6 feet long. How many of you guys out there, or maybe 9 feet long, remember that? You had a top-loading VCR with a wired remote, and you could stop, start, fast forward, and rewind. But you never wanted to pause. I mean, the only reason you paused a VHS tape was to get up and go to the bathroom or get food or something like that, because when you did, it blurred the screen. It was all like... You kids don't remember. You don't know nothing. Today, with your fancy DVDs and your Netflixes and whatever, you pause it and you get a perfect shot on the screen of whatever was there. But
yeah,
not in the olden days, buddy. Nuh-uh. And we had this thing called tracking. And sometimes you had to manually adjust the tracking to keep the lines from going up and down on your television.
What's funny now is that Netflix automatically does that.
Yeah, well, we had... sometimes your Brontosaurus would step on your VCR, and the tracking would be off, and you'd have to readjust it. So that happens. It happens. So anyway, hi, Alex. Alex is in the studio. She just brought Jared coffee. Oh,
she's got one eye.
Oh,
well, she's got two eyes, but one's really big.
Oh, she got one. Oh, did you get your eyes checked? So you still have two? Good job. She still has two eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're relieved. Did you tell her that the audience is waiting to hear a female voice.
Oh,
again.
No, I didn't tell her that yet.
Good, don't tell her.
Okay.
Don't tell her. All right.
I'll keep that to myself.
Keep it to yourself, 100%. Keep that to yourself. Oh, what are we doing today? We're going crazy talking about VCRs and old-timey stuff. You're like, hey, man, I'm not an old-timer like you. I want to talk about new, hip, cool things. Hip, cool things. Well, it is. Wow, did we put the Go Team moment before our first sponsor promo?
Maybe. You told me not to mess with your show notes yesterday, so I'm going to stop doing that.
You did mess with my show notes yesterday. You totally screwed me up, and I didn't know what I was doing. We have show notes that are highlighted. Yes, they're high-lit. I guess they're not. Are they high-lit or highlighted?
They're color-coded.
Color-coordinated so that I can figure out what I'm supposed to do. Somebody's got to keep paying attention to me. Somebody's got to keep me straight. I don't know whose job it is. It's yours by default.
Mine by default. But I'm supposed to not touch your stuff, remember? I can't do both.
Somebody has to do it, and it can't be me. But someone has to. I was just about to shout out that line from that one movie that I shouted out earlier when we were prepping the show, but I realized I can't shout that line out. No.
Yeah, you can't really.
I can't shout that line out on the public, the family-friendly hour, because there are people in their cars right now with their kids listening to us, and I'm going to be a good boy, and I will keep this as clean or cleaner than your favorite PG movie. Or PG-13 movie. Do you guys do understand that PG-13 is an abomination before the Lord, and it is wrong like Dick Cancer. PG-13 is like the 40 cal of movies. There's just, in the immortal words of Jeff Cooper, why?
Speaking of 40 cal, I was actually kind of not feeling very well on Saturday. And I took the 40 cal, doubled up on the SWAT Fuel 40 cal, and I felt better.
Well, so good.
There's that.
I did that too. I didn't talk about it yesterday because I don't like to tell my problems on the radio. But I got hit by the con flu or the convention flu or the whatever. I was laid out for basically 24 hours. I realized on Friday. What day was Friday? It was Friday.
Sure.
It was the day before Saturday. Yeah, like midday Friday, I realized that I actually hadn't eaten anything for like 24 hours. And I did nothing but sleep and get up and go to the bathroom and sleep some more, and that was it. But I'm better now. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your concern and your cards and well wishes. I truly appreciate that. But I did indeed take my SWAT Fuel multi-cal, and I drank lots of water. And just kind of had to knock it out there. I'm looking here. Oh, hey, before we dive in, and we have a Go Team moment for you guys, and we love Go Team moments. They make us happy. Let's talk about Century Arms, the sweetest-smelling arms company in America. The makers of the C-39, made in the USA, 100% made in the USA AK. The Autovat Kalashnikov, the C-39, and the C-39 V2, which is the version 2, and then the RAS, the Red Army Standard. Now, it seems to me, Jared, that the C-30, the SBR that I was holding, I think it said C-39 V. It might have said C-39 V2 because the C-39 is the machined receivers, and the RAS. Like is the stamped receivers now. The made in the USA stamped receivers. Yes. Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. I'm just.
We'll know
I'm
more
just
about
thinking
that.
out loud.
We'll know more about that when we get one.
That's right. Century Arms. They are a sponsor of the mobile app, the Student of the Gun mobile app. If you don't have the mobile app, you are wrong. But you can quickly fix yourself by going to your Google Play Store or your iTunes Store. Type in the 4 words "Student of the Gun," or you could probably just type in "student gun" and it would autocorrect it for you and bring you there. Download it for free for nothing. You're like, what? For free? Yes, because of our good friends at Century Arms. Now, nothing in this world is free. If you're looking for something free, I guess oxygen is free to a certain extent, but that's about it. Everything.
Taxes.
Taxes are free.
No. Oxygen is not free.
Oh,
you have to pay taxes.
You have to pay taxes on oxygen.
Yep.
We have to pay taxes to be alive, so I guess that, in a sense, that is true.
Yeah.
Any Hoosier, It's the mobile app is free for you because of our friends at Century Arms, who are the sponsor who helped us make it happen. So there you go. Duracoat, can technology. Duracoat, because life's too short to have an ugly gun. That's not their official slogan, but it's the official slogan for Student of the Gun Radio. So there you have it. You're just going to have to take that and run with it. Duracoat, LauerCustomWeaponry.com. You can buy Duracoat can technology products at Brownells.com. Brownells.com has the emergency and survival gear. Now, unfortunately, right now, you can't buy SWAT fuel in the emergency and survival gear section of Brownells, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know about you guys, but I think, we did the video. We talked about the number one component in survival is you. Yeah, you. Your physical body and your mind. It doesn't matter how many guns you have or how much ammo or, you got 5,000 pounds of rice stockpiled in a warehouse somewhere. That's all great. But if your body's not functioning, if your mind isn't functioning, all that other stuff is that's what it is. It's just stuff. You are the primary survival component. So you need to take care of your body. You need to take care of your mind. And in a crisis situation, whether it's we just had flooding in Texas. We talked about this. We've got flooding. Communities are having to come together to work together to get through this flooding issue. Some flooding in Louisiana. It happens. It can happen any day. You can wake up tomorrow, and your area could be involved in a crisis, whether it's natural or man-made. And if you find yourself in that position, your body and your mind are going to be in a higher amount or a greater amount of stress than normal. That's just because a crisis is, by the definition, the antithesis of everyday life, right? Unless you go about every day of your life in a crisis mode. Now, some people out there's a couple of you that may go through your life and your daily routine is to be in crisis mode. I know you're out there. I used to be an operations manager for a security company, and that was pretty much my job title, was to be in crisis mode every day. But for the rest of the world, you might need a little something extra. And really, they go the extra mile. SWAT fuel go the extra mile, or sharper minds and stronger bodies. It's true. It's no bull crap. I wouldn't lie to you. If you think I would lie to you, turn me off right now and go listen to some NPR show where that they're lying to you. Every once in a while they screw up and tell you the truth, and that's the scary thing. But Brownells has an emergency and survival gear section, right? They got water filter, water purification. They got dehydrated food. They got all that stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that if I were at Brownells shopping in the emergency and survival gear section, that I would want to be able to pick up SWAT fuel products. It kind of makes sense, right? I mean, if you're stocking your go bag with stuff for you, for your mind and your body, why not pick up some 9mm plus P or the 40 cal? Hey, let's face it, if you're not sleeping or you're sleeping crappy hours, or if you're having to sleep on a cot instead of your nice comfy bed, you're not going to sleep as well. Your body is going to break down. It just is. So how do you help your body get through it? Well, you get, things like SWAT fuel. Are there other things out there? Sure there are. Since I've been in my 40s, I've tried lots of things and sadly been disappointed by most of them. So this just happened right now, this very second, on Student of the Gun Radio, because we're having a conversation, you and I. You didn't know we were having a conversation, did you? Well, we're having the kind of conversation that your parents used to have with you when you're like 10, 11, 12, 13. You sit down on the couch, and I tell you my part of the conversation, and then you go do. How's that sound? And then every once in a while, you can go ahead and interject something. Like on Mondays. You can interject on Monday if you feel like it. And all of you freaks and hippies in the grad program, you can interject all day long because you have special access to the grad program membership site.
Yeah, we pay attention to that page a lot more than we do the regular student.
Well, yeah, because you know why we pay attention to the grad program
because
on Facebook?
Their opinion matters.
because they have skin in the game. They have an investment in Student of the Gun. They've made an investment. They said, hey, I believe in your product. I'm going to make an investment in your product. I want to be a part of it. And so you get to, it's like, what were we talking about the other day? About, can you, I know what it was. I'm going to get off track here, but let me go ahead and say this before I do the whole, the Coca-Cola Pepsi thing. What I want you guys to do, if you're paying close attention, if you think that Brownells should stock SWAT Fuel products in their emergency and survival gear category, go over to their Facebook page and say, hi, please stock SWAT Fuel, or why don't you stock SWAT Fuel, or you should stock SWAT Fuel, or whatever. You're an American. Work it out there, wordsmith. If you can't string together one cogent sentence, then just have somebody else do it for you. But for those of you in the listening audience that can construct sentences, go for it. Rock on. I mean, you're Americans. If you think so. If you don't, then drive on too. But I bet you there's a lot of folks out there that are believers, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I like Brownells, and why don't they do that? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. Are you ready to bump me in with some goatee music? Because it makes me a little antsy in my pantsy when I hear it. That's why I say amen, I shot. A good shot, man. Thank you, Filter. And, when I hear that song, I feel a little funny inside. Hey, this story also could be bumped in with slave state news. The slaves are rebelling in the People's Republic of Illinois. And Gary the Enforcer and Little Rami are not going to like this. They will not be available for comment. So here's the dealio, yo. This story does not jive with Gary the Enforcer and Little Rami's, with their narrative about how guns are bad and we need more gun laws and less guns and, more guns equals more crime and derp. See, this story's not going to jive with that. So what they're going to do is they're just going to close their mouths and they're going to allow the media to poke holes in it. And it's from the Chicago Tribune. Cops. Charges not expected against licensed gun holder who killed suspected robber. He's just a suspected robber. He was in the store pointing a gun at people, telling them to give him their money, but he's just a suspected robber. Hey, you know what just popped up? I know I'm doing the squirrel ADD thing. Wise Foods, a Wise Foods ad just popped up on my Chicago Tribune thing, and that reminded me, we ran into the Wise Foods people at NASGW, and they've got a couple of things coming up that are just really for shizzle, are they not, Jared? The pack?
Oh, yeah.
Bingo, light bulb.
It's been out.
I saw the light bulb come on over. Jared said, no, there's the one that you can only get through the dealer program or whatever. You can't get it under normals.
Yeah, we're going to be
camouflage pack.
We're going to be working on getting that for sale on our store.
Yeah, really, that's coming up. So that just I just remembered that we were doing the brain dump after the show, and I just I vapor locked and went into like a flu induced coma. So I'm just kind of now catching up on my after show.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you read the Chicago Tribune story?
I can.
I cannot. There's something that popped up over that says register now. Subscribe for 99 cents.
I already ignored that. I already told him no. I don't want to.
Yeah, I did.
I don't want to subscribe.
It won't let me read
the Chicago Tribune. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and take it from here. All right. Dateline, November 2nd, 2015, 7:43 a.m. Story by Dawn Rhodes and Rosemary Regina Sobel. Ooh, 2 last names. What does that tell us? Police say charges are unlikely against a licensed concealed carry gun owner who shot and killed a robbery suspect after he threatened a worker with what turned out to be a paint gun. Now, this isn't, it says a paint gun. That wouldn't be like a sprayer. That's not like a pneumatic sprayer that you use to do cars and houses and stuff. You're like, a paint gun? You mean one of those great big things with a hose and a nozzle and the reservoir underneath it? Why would he try and rob someone with that? I think in Chicago they meant a paintball gun. Okay, but whatever. Picky. In Gage Park on the southwest side of Chicago, in the ghetto. Quote, the Chicago Police Department is wrapping up its investigation and charges do not appear likely, the department said in a statement. Police say Reginald Gildersleeve, 55, walked into Agencia Mexicana. Ooh, racism here. Why do you want to rob Agencia Mexicana? I don't know. Is it we smack of racism? Why do you want to rob Mexicans? What's up? What's up, SA? Huh? It'd be really cool if the dude shot him with the TP9 SA. At 2701 West 51st Street around 7 p.m. Saturday, a customer was making a financial transaction with a worker at the store, which also serves as a currency exchange, when Gildersleeve, wearing a mask. Okay, so dude walks into the store wearing a mask, announced it was a robbery, pulled out a gun, and threatened the patrons. But he's suspected. He's a suspect.
Well, he hasn't been.
Well, they caught him.
Yeah.
He's in custody.
But he's not convicted.
Well, he's in the custody of the coroners, but he's in custody. You know what? Usually when they say suspect, it means, okay, this is the description. It was a man wearing dark clothing. He's at large currently. We can't tell you the skin tone or hair color or anything because that would be racist. I can't believe they actually put a picture of him in the story. They really are screwing up. Wearing a mask, announced the robbery and pulled out the gun, according to Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for Chicago Police. Chicago. Gildersleeve and a customer got into some kind of confrontation. That's in quotes. Got into some kind of confrontation. So a dude with a mask on walks into the Quickie Mart, pulls out a gun, and says, "This is a robbery. Give me all your money." And it's described as a type of confrontation. As in the victim, is like participating in the confrontation. Well, when you hear about two people getting into a confrontation, it's like they're arguing over a parking space or something. It's like, I don't think if you're being robbed that you got into a confrontation with the robber, but I know I'm a crazy person. At least two workers were inside at the time, a 55-year-old woman and a 17-year-old girl. But no one else was hit. Several law enforcement sources, man, they've got not one, not two, but several law enforcement sources. That'd be cops standing around outside the store, and the people walk up. They're like, "Hey, what's going on? Did he have a gun? Oh, he got a paintball gun. He had a toy gun. He had a fake gun. He had a whatever gun. He had a replica gun." Several law enforcement sources, and this is like paragraph 5 or 6 now, said that he was holding a toy gun. One of the sources says it was a paintball gun. Gildersleeve had a lengthy arrest record. Shock face. What? This wasn't his first time out?
Well, you can easily convert the paintball guns to fully automatic weapons.
Yeah, well, a good thing. We're lucky that he didn't get a hold of one of those Korean import airsoft guns. Thank the Lord for Calvin and his vigilance for keeping the fully automatic airsoft guns off the streets of America. Thank you, Calvin. Oh, yeah, lengthy arrest record, including at least one for robbery, at least that we know, and was currently out on bond. Hey, woo, for an unrelated incident on October 23rd. So less than a week after being released on bond from jail, this husband and father and lover of puppies and milk is out robbing people. He lived 3 blocks from the store. And people say like, well, good thing they caught that guy. Good thing the police caught him. Yeah, they caught him. He walked into the jail. And then less than 24 hours later, he walked out of the jail and walked right back into your neighborhood. What? You mean, what? But I thought when the police arrested someone that then they were off the streets and I'm safe now. This dude, all right, let's maybe 8 days. Okay, I'll give him that. All right, maybe he was good. It took him 8 days to get caught committing another crime after being released.
It took him that long to find the paintball gun.
Yeah. This is where the story gets good, and thank you for keeping with us. Police referred the case to Cook County State's Attorney. They also determined if there's any reason to charge the 44-year-old customer who had a concealed carry permit and a firearms owner's identification card, also known as a FOI card, or an Illinois permission slip to own a gun. Yes, the slaves in Illinois still have to get a special permission slip to actually buy a gun. Not carry one concealed, but to actually make the purchase. To purchase ammunition within the state, you have to be on a state registry. I know all of you guys who live out there in free America, you're like, what? Them freaking slaves up there got to get a special card so they can go to Walmart and buy ammo? Yes, they are that insane. Sorry. And if you're living in Illinois, I don't know what to say to you.
Get out.
No, they're comfortable. A man who here we go. This is where it gets good. Yay! A man who identified himself as the shooter's brother declined comment, says the family, blah, blah, blah. No, here we go. This is the next sentence. The stepson of the suspect, get this, expressed anger and frustration. Now, if your stepfather just got whacked while he was in the process of robbing the local convenience store, you would probably be frustrated. You and I would probably be mortally embarrassed. We would probably not want to talk to the media. We would probably be like, we don't have anything to say. In the normal America, in the normal world, when you find out your stepdad is a robber, a felon, a thief, when you find that out, you're like, well, we love you, but those are some bad choices you're making, and we'd really rather you didn't commit felonies, Uncle Bob, Cousin Frank. Love you as part of our family, but can't really get behind your whole lifestyle choice of committing felonies and robbing people. No, not in the People's Republic of Illinois, not in Chicagoland. No, when your stepdad gets whacked for robbing a store, you're frustrated and angry, and you don't believe the police account. Here we go. Quote from Igbinosia Aronce. Yeah. Something doesn't seem right, said Igbinosia Aronce, whose mother was married to Gildersleeve. Reggie doesn't even own a gun. He couldn't own a gun if he wanted to. Why is that, Iggy? Why couldn't he own a gun? Because he's a felon and a career criminal? Because we know that in Chicago, felons and career criminals can't get guns because it's against the law. Well, maybe maybe he couldn't go into a gun store and buy one legally. So what did he do, Jared?
He stole it.
He got a fake gun.
Yeah. I'm sure
he went and gave somebody a rock or, a dime bag or something, or he hit someone over the head with a 2x4.
It looks like an actual a gun to the untrained eye.
So you're telling me that a career criminal, that a bad person, regardless of the law, that they're going to get the tools they need to commit their crimes?
Well, not if it would have had a plastic sign.
If it had had an orange tip.
Oh, an orange tip.
Just the tip.
Yeah, just the tip.
Okay. And Aronce, he wasn't done.
Please don't read this out loud.
No, I'm going to. I'm going to. Break out the duct tape. No. Strike that. Break out the Gorilla Tape.
Glue.
Your head is going to explode when you hear what the genius who is, we're going to call him Iggy. We're friends here. We're all friends here. Iggy Aronce, the stepson of the recently deceased felon robber who, made a bad career choice. Some people don't actually know how to use guns, he said. They go to firing ranges, but it's not the same as a bullet going into somebody's body. Okay, I'm tracking with you 5x5 there. It's not the same as a bullet going into flesh. Okay, continuing. They should be able to wound first, kill next. And this last sentence explains why America is swirling in the toilet and is heading down. There we go. He didn't deserve to get shot multiple times. You just took a brother. You just took a father from a lot of people. Somebody's got to answer for that.
I think they already answered.
And Iggy, hey, bro, listen up, S.A. I got something for you. Somebody did answer for that, and it was Reggie. When you decide to rob people, death by gunfire is a definite workplace hazard. So, Arance chuckled when recalling his stepfather's jokes and love of playing cards. I'm the strong one in the family, and I was crying this morning. So how do you think they feel? Arance said. Now my heart feels like ice. I love that man dearly. I love that man dearly, but I didn't love him enough to say, hey, Reggie, you might want to stop robbing people. I didn't love him enough to say, please don't go out and rob that store today. Folks, we're living in a diseased time. Do you realize where we're at in America right now? We have the diseased of our country looking out at the healthy and telling them that they're sick. Can you kind of mesh that around, spin that around in your brain for a second? When you have a community that makes excuses for the vermin in its midst, that blames the victim of a crime for the death of a robber, a felon, we are living in a sick, twisted time. Your communities, Chicago, Baltimore, Ferguson, yeah, I'm going to keep ticking them off, Detroit, all of New Jersey, you name it. Your communities will never be well. They will never be healthy again as long as you have morons like Iggy Arance here jumping in front of a microphone to tell the people, and this isn't just, of Iggy's culture there. Jared, do you remember when those two pieces of human filth, those two teenage pieces of crap, broke into that old lady's house? They'd done it twice. They broke into her house, and so her retired elderly brother came over to stay with her. And then they broke in again, and he shot him while they're in the midst of invading an elderly retired woman's home. And the white trash family members stood out in the street crying about, they didn't deserve to get shot. Yes, they did. They absolutely deserve to get shot. I don't care if you're 12, 13, 15, 19, 38, 75, 55. If you decide that your career goal or you make the choice to break into an old woman's home and terrorize her, and then you're going to stand in the street and cry to the microphone that they were good boys. No, they weren't. They were filth. They were vermin. And in the United States of America, we have thousands upon thousands of these career criminal vermin. And they continue to be so because of the enablers and the pieces of crap like Iggy and those other folks that we featured on Student of the Gun Radio previously, making excuses for them. How about you hold them responsible for their behavior, you piece of crap? Oh, we can't do that. We can't hold humans responsible for their behavior. It's the victim's responsibility to make sure, oh, okay, I got it. Thanks, Iggy. Thanks for clearing it up for me. It's the victim's responsibility to make sure that the person robbing and assaulting and threatening them with deadly force doesn't get hurt too bad during the act. Okay, got it. Thank you for clearing that up for me, you piece of human filth. And that's how I feel about that. Moving on, don't forget about our good friends at Velocity Triggers, velocitytriggers.com. They are designed for precision, and a Velocity Trigger is the heart of my new favorite gun that's called Toxicity. Crossbreed holsters, I am wearing one right now. That's right, I've got a Crossbreed holster on my hip underneath my, I look down at my chest. I'm wearing a Patriot Fire Team shirt today. You could be, but you're not, so there you go. One last thing. Oh, don't forget when you order SWAT Fuel, use the SOTG2015 promo code. I don't think we said that. We want you to say
no, I don't think we
want you to save money because we like you and we're nice guys. So when you go to the SWAT Fuel store, SWATfuelstore.com, that's what it is, right? SWATfuelstore.com.
Yeah.
Put in the promo code at checkout, SOTG2015, and save 10% off your total order. It's righteous. And last but certainly not least in the lineup of friends of ours and friends of yours. Crap! I didn't... Oh, I'm going to do that. It's in there. Frog Lube. It's minty, it's green, and it just works. And check out the new Frog Lube Extreme. If your local dealer doesn't carry Frog Lube Extreme. Now, the one caveat with Frog Lube Extreme, when you do clean your guns and you apply it, you have to pound a Mountain Dew while you're doing it. That is the one caveat. And you have to do the hang loose and yell extreme while you're doing it. Do you have to do that? But you know what's really cool about Frog Lube Extreme, Jared?
What?
They spelled it with an E.
Oh, good.
They didn't start it with...
No X.
Yeah, X. Now, this is what I wanted to say. Jared knows this. He's commented to me previously. When we were at NASGW, we went and we saw new friends, old friends, mutual acquaintances, and so forth. And we went to, we saw the folks from Crossbreed. They didn't have a booth. We saw them and talked to them. Frog Lube, we went into the Frog Lube booth, talked to Larry at Frog Lube. Duracoat, we talked to the Lauer family at Duracoat. Who else, Jared? Tom at Velocity Triggers has told us on the phone.
Yeah.
But I want to pay you. Listen up, hippies. I'm going to pay you a compliment. So sit down and open up your ears. Our sponsors have paid us a compliment about you, or have paid you a compliment. They say to us in various forms, you guys have the best followers, the best fans, the best students of the gun, the best whatever. More than one of our sponsors has commented to us that, they said things like, we advertise in other venues, we advertise in other shows, other TVs, other whatever. They said, we get more response, we get a greater response from the student of the gun audience than anywhere else. And that is a compliment. And you, whether you're sitting in your car, on a treadmill, you're at work pretending like you're working, that's cool. It's just between you and I. Wherever you happen to be right now, you should take, not too much. Don't get swelled up too much with pride. I don't want you to fall off the treadmill from a swollen head. But you should take a little bit of pride in that you are part of something. And I'm going to tell you what I told Larry this. I told Steve and Debbie and Amy and Mike at Frog Lube. At Duracoat. Larry's at Frog Lube.
Yeah.
Anyway, when they commented and Trent and Carol, they said, "Wow, your followers are the most dedicated people. We hear from them. They communicate with us. They tell us what." And Larry said, he goes, "What, did you have them all in a room? You're like, okay, nobody leaves until they write a positive letter to Frog Lube. Until they write, I was like, no, I we don't really hold them hostage." But and I told him this. I said, when I started this show, when I started Student of the Gun as a concept, way back when in 2010, when I was writing it out, I came up with a title and writing, ideas for the show and how it was going to work. And if you guys have been with us since the beginning, you go all the way back to season 1. You notice something. My name is, hi, I'm Billy, I'm Annette, I'm Jimmy, whatever, and I am a student of the gun. And it kind of came to me like a flash that that's what we should do. And if you remember the very beginning of season 1 and 2 and so forth, we did the I am. When we had people come on, guests, and they're saying, tell us who you are, where you're from, and, whether or not you're a student of the gun. And they always say yes. And they're like, no, I'm not. I'm not going on your camera. I'm not saying that. And the reason I did that was because I wanted Student of the Gun, whether it's a television show or the radio show or, the blog articles, the website, whatever, it doesn't matter. I wanted you out in the audience to feel like you had a little bit of ownership, that you were participating in it, that you weren't just sitting back and watching it happen as an observer. I wanted you to feel like you actually had a legitimate place. Now, I'm not going to give you majority stock, and you don't get to vote on what I do day to day, but you're a part of it. And that's why the Student of the Gun experience is just a little bit different than I believe. Do you believe maybe I'm just blowing smoke up my own fanny or what? And you can tell me if I am.
No, I think you're right on. People like to be involved.
And that is why when people, the Frog Lube and the Duracoats and so forth. And from the television side, we've got Inland Manufacturing, which is our newest sponsor, and High Point, which is a previous sponsor. They've been with us for a while, SWAT Fuel and so forth. That's why they tell us, they're like, man, your people, they contact us, they reach out to us, they send us letters, they call us. Amy, bless Amy's heart at Duracoat. When you folks decided on your own on the grad program that you were going to push for a Student of the Gun tattoo, a Duracoat gun tattoo with Student of the Gun on it, Amy, she said, I was the first one to take one of those calls. She goes, there's been a lot more since then, but I took the first one. She goes, yeah, pick up the phone, like, Duracoat company's going to help you, or Lauer company's going to. And whoever you were, one of you out there said, yeah, you guys need to do a Student of the Gun gun tattoo. And if you don't know what a gun tattoo is, you need to go over to Lauer Custom Weaponry or Duracoat's website or whatever and check it out right now. But Amy said, she says, and we didn't talk to her about pre-sales yet, but she said, well, we're going to do it in 2016. And she said they're going to do a Crusader cross too. And I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the Crusader cross, and I'm excited about the Student of the Gun tattoo. And she goes, well, I hope if we do these, people buy them. So listen up, freaks. They're investing in you. So when they do that, you better pry open your wallet and spend $5 and buy one of those things from them. We're not getting any money from it. We don't get a nickel from the gun tattoo thing. But it's just something for you guys.
Yeah, I'd say that's something cool for
It's just something for you guys. So thank you. I wanted to take the time to compliment you, or to share the compliments that we received with you. So you're doing a good job out there. Keep it up. We're going to do it. And I'm looking at the clock on the wall, Jared. What does the clock on the wall say?
Clock on the wall says it's time to wrap this thing up.
That's right. And I've got this one story that we're just going to have to save till tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow there's a new idea. It's a great idea from, yet another company that has decided they're going to come up with a digital way to keep your daughters and wives and girlfriends safe. It's a new self-defense tool. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on Student of the Gun Radio. But until then, remember to like us every day. No, I'm not going to steal that.
If you guys aren't subscribed on iTunes, go over to iTunes, search Student of the Gun. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And for you guys that don't know, Google Play is actually releasing a podcasting feature.
What?
We are already approved for it, so as soon as the podcasts are released on Google Play, we will be there. We will be the first of the gun industry to be there.
Rock on! Go us! Beginner once, student for life.